CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.
Now the news. I'm Tianlu. Chinese President Xi Jinping says China will work with Peru to advance their comprehensive strategic partnership. He also reiterated Beijing's support for the success of this year's Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Leaders Meeting to be hosted by Lima. President Xi made the remarks on Friday during talks with Peruvian President Dina Boluarte. He called for expanding cooperation in emerging fields, welcomed Peru's exports of high-quality products to China, and expressed hope for a favorable environment for Chinese investment in Peru. Boluarte said Peru welcomes Chinese investment and hopes to strengthen cooperation in infrastructure, green development, and clean energy. Peru is also willing to strengthen communication and cooperation with China in upholding multilateralism. The president of the World Bank Group has praised the cooperation between China and the World Bank as exemplary. A.J. Banga emphasized the equal importance of mutual learning and financial support between the two sides. Banga said lessons and practices from China's development can be helpful and inspirational for other countries.
So I think China is one of those countries that is the model case in some ways for how the bank should be working with the country. China at one time, back 40 years ago, was a recipient of IDA grants. And IDA is that part of the bank that lends money to the countries that are most in need. China got that. From there to where today China is one of the larger donors to the bank is a perfect story of how you get income and money from the bank when you need it, and then the time comes when you're better off and you can help other countries.
A Bolivian court has sentenced General Juan José Zuniga and two other former military chiefs to a 6-month preventative detention over a failed coup against Bolivian President Luis Arce. Authorities say that while the investigation continues, the former commanders are being held in custody in the maximum security prison of Choncaroco in the department of La Paz. The prosecution team argued that the danger of escape and the possibility that the accused would hinder the investigation were reasons for their detention. According to the Bolivian government, Zuniga on Wednesday led the attempted coup in Palacio Quemado, the government palace, which is located in Guerrero Square in the city of La Paz. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said the country needs to start the production of intermediate-range nuclear forces strike systems in response to U.S. actions. Putin told the Russian Security Council the United States has already brought these missile systems to Europe for military exercises. The United States and the Soviet Union signed the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty in 1987. The treaty prohibited possessing, developing, and testing ground-based ballistic missiles with a range of 500 to 5,500 kilometers. The United States officially announced its withdrawal from the treaty in 2019. The U.S. Supreme Court has placed legal limits on prosecutors pursuing obstruction charges against those who rioted at the U.S. Capitol on January the 6th, 2021. The 6-3 decision potentially forces a reopening of the cases against some of the defendants. This is among the charges facing former President Donald Trump. China has launched a new direct air route linking Guangzhou with Istanbul. The journey from Guangzhou to Istanbul takes about 11 hours and the return trip about 10 hours. China Southern Airlines expects more international air routes to be launched or resumed in the near future. The San Diego Zoo has welcomed 2 giant pandas from China. It is Tiansan reports.
Among the biggest and most popular conservation parks in the United States, the San Diego Zoo has welcomed 2 giant pandas. They're the first to come to the U.S. in more than 20 years. The excitement is in the air, but visitors have to wait for at least a month before the fluffy bears acclimate to their new environment and released from quarantine. Soon to become star attractions at the San Diego Zoo are the 3-year-old female Xin Bao and the 4-year-old male Yun Chuan, who has a special connection to San Diego, as his mother Zhen Zhen was born at the same zoo back in 2007.
And that's the news. I'm Tianlu.